All right, everybody, come on in, come on in. Welcome back to another Wild Card Wednesday with Maggie and Lucy. I am Maggie the substitute teacher. You may know me from my cooking channel. I make food and femininity content. Lucy, my bestie, Lucy and I are the proud founders of the Finishing School for the Modern Woman, where we teach ladies of all ages about elegance, etiquette, and femininity. We do have an advanced course coming up in November. Go to teachablemomentswithmaggie.com if you want 4 weeks of wife lessons in November from us. But twice a week as our community service and way of giving back and the legacy that we want to leave. We come on here with you all and we give you our perspective as two older women with combined 40 years of marriage experience. So, Lucy, please introduce yourself and let us know, what are we reacting to tonight?
Hi, Maggie. Hello, everyone. Yes, I am Lucy. I have a channel that this year the content changed a little bit. It's more about femininity, elegance, etiquette, and things that impact women. Women over a certain age. And the reason I wanted to discuss this video is because I think we need to talk about valuing our skin, our bodies, the way we look, the way we are seen by others. And I think that this is a good start and a good presentation about something that I think I have been pretty passionate about, especially with my nieces, when they start saying about, oh, I'm thinking about getting a little tattoo. Usually that little tattoo turns into more tattoos, and then it just, I don't know. I think it's maybe, for me, it's something that we need to be different than the rest, and not having any tattoos makes us a lot different than all of those young ladies that are, that are advertising those, I'm not sure what it is, that behavior.
I couldn't agree more. So let me give you all our 2 disclaimers and then we will go in. So this video, I have linked it in the description if you want to watch it without our commentary. It's about a 10-12-minute video. We're going to play it and pause and give you our feedback. And as always, we'd love to know what you all think in the chat. A little ahead of myself. I'm excited. But also, trigger warning, Lucy and I come from families with very traditional values. We believe in husbands and wives, man and woman, boy and girl, mom and dad. If you want to do something other than that, that's fine. I just suggest you probably want to do it over there because you probably won't be happy over here. But with that being said, we're going to get into this. And I admittedly am not a fan of the tattoos. I understand that people can do whatever they want to, but we will start with this, ladies. I asked my man one day, babe, would you take me seriously if I had multiple tattoos? And he said, I wouldn't take you seriously if you had one tattoo. So with that being said, let's get into it.
So what kind of dudes are you attracted to?
Me, I would say dominant alpha males. That's not usually what's attracted to me, but that is typically what I am attracted to and would like to date or go out with and find. I'm not on social media, but I have tried online dating, and that's been not successful.
What happens when you use online dating? I mean, like, are you able to match with the guys that you're attracted to?
Sometimes, but not often. There's been a couple times where a lot of times they will seem a certain way until you actually get out in public with them or get to know them a little bit more. And I think also a large problem is a lot of men might think that they're dominant or alpha and they're not, or they might present themselves that way, but they're still living with their mom at 43. Another one that I dated had lived in a sober house living, which I think is awesome for him, but he's obviously not ready to date. But he didn't tell me that until date 5. So
what is silver house living? I don't know what that
like
is.
a sober home living. So
Oh, sober home. Okay, so
yeah,
he's an
like
alcoholic. Got it.
recovering alcoholic or addict, which
Okay.
that's great. I'm proud of him. However, I don't want to date him.
Okay.
So
Do you have any kids? You ever been married?
I have never been married. I do have 2 children from when I was young. They are 19 and 23. They live in the city on their own in college, one for nursing, one undergraduate for psychology. So they are super smart, but very independent and, not home and in my life all the time, but we're still very close.
Okay. So what's the ask here? I mean, you're just looking for clarity on why? I mean, you're looking for some help, some advice?
Probably a little all of the above. I'm not sure. I've taken myself off of online dating. I did it for about 1.5 years. I'm thinking about jumping back into it, but I'm not sure if maybe I'm using wording wrong or presenting myself wrong. And I've really tried. Like I go to the gym and I smile and I'm nice and I get comments from people. Men that I'm attracted to tend to treat me like their little sister. The last person I dated called me accommodating. I don't know if that is a good thing. That I'm helpful or nice, or everybody goes, "Oh, Tammy's so sweet," but
Sounds
they
like a
don't
friend
wanna
zone sort of
out.
thing that women do to guys.
Yeah, but they do. That's what I end up in.
So
I am very rarely speechless. I am absolutely speechless. I don't even know where to begin, you all. And I gave you my disclaimers. Do whatever you want to do. I see Clever Girl Reading says, me over here, happily married with a tattoo. Thank you. And I am happy for you. And I appreciate the comment. So much to unpack here. One of the first things that struck me about this woman is she said, the men that I'm attracted to, I don't really get matched with what I'm attracted to. And yes, we're going to talk about women and their tattoos today, but ladies, it is so important to understand the qualities that make a man relationship ready and husband material. And I am not, okay, maybe I'll plug our course a little bit, but I have heard this before with women that I talk to. Oh, he's cute. Oh, he's hot. Well, I'm attracted to. That is a small part of what is going to sustain you over the long term. Yes, I agree. You should have an attraction to the man that you are vetting and being vetted by. But if that's where it begins and ends with you, you've already lost. Now let's talk about her. I can't even call it a chest plate tattoo. Clearly, she wants a diamond, so she put one on her neck. And at this age, you're on the marketplace wondering why nobody is taking you seriously. Ma'am, it's because you don't take yourself seriously. And I'm sorry, but not sorry. I remember hearing this from Thane, that if a woman puts a tattoo on her body, that means you don't respect your body. So why should I? I'm just telling you what the men say. So if you get the attraction from the men that you want to be with, great for you. But if you are not getting the same reciprocated attention and intentions from the men that you want to be with, you really need to look at what you're doing. I find it very shocking that this woman is confused at all. Maybe it's what I say. Maybe it's how I present myself. I'll just end on this. Ladies, have you ever considered that our natural skin is beautiful? Have you ever considered that if a man likes you, he really just likes you? You don't have to do too much. But I think the ship has long sailed for her. What would you add, Lucy?
I think it has. And sadly, I mean, she seems like a very nice person, nice woman. She said that the men that she met said to her that she was accommodating. So that means it's somebody that is willing to work with things. But again, just because she sounds nice, she seems nice, those tattoos say something different. And to me, if I were a man, I try to, I don't know, I wouldn't know how to be a man, but if a man in a woman's body, I would think, okay, she seems nice. Why all of these things? Why all of this advertising on you? So what she's saying and what she seems to be does not match what she is showing.
All right, so I'm going to come and see what you all say in the chat. And I know we're specifically talking about tattoos tonight, but ladies, I think this actually goes along with any of the other extra stuff that you're doing that shows up as chaotic. Lucy and I talked about that before. If you have a different elaborate hairstyle every time a man sees you, it doesn't show up as a serious woman. And what we've said is if you want a serious man, you need to show up as a serious woman. And men are very consistent, and they appreciate when a woman is who she says she is. When you have all that going on, whether it's hair, nails, lashes, tattoos all over your body, nobody really knows what to make of that. You may think it's beautiful art. I really think it hurts you. All right, let's see what you all are saying in the chat. So Killis is saying, see, looking at her tats, I love seeing them. Well, good for you and good for her. I don't think she wants to be with a woman, but hey, she says they're really amazing. I just can't do it on my body. It's too permanent. I agree, ladies. I just think our decision making, we're way too short-sighted for our own benefit. So if you appreciate it as art, that's fine. Find other ways to do it, because this will really hold you back. Lindbergh says, I can't take a tattooed woman to any after 5 p.m. formal events. There you go, ladies. Lucy and I both have a connection to the late, great Kevin Samuels, and he said the same thing. It is important. And one of the things you have to understand, women, is that we represent our men. It's not just I like you and you like me and I'm going to look into your googly eyes forever. No. When you show up in a space, you are his Mrs. You are his proxy. You are the one that represents him. You basically stand in the gap. If he's not there, they come through you. That's what masculine men want. They want a woman that will carry their banner and represent them well. I don't think any man looks at her and says, now that's the woman for me. Now, I could be wrong. I'm just giving you all my humble opinion, but who am I? All right, we have LA Miles here. He says, hey, Maggie, hello to you. And Killis is saying exactly. LA says, this is my first time seeing Mrs. Lucchese on camera. She is so beautiful. I want to be like Lucy when I grow up. Gillis says, I think she'll have to tweak her search a bit, but I think she's young enough to find the right one, but we'll have to do it a bit. We'll have to do a bit more work. All right, let's see what else this lovely lady is looking for in a relationship.
So yeah, me is like the sweet little Tammy.
So are they overtly stating it's because of the tattoos?
No, and I wasn't.
And I mean, like when you say tattoos all over your body, like you attach some pictures. I'm not going to show them on a screen, but it looks like it's from like neck pretty much all the way down, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Not everything is tattooed, but I have a lot done.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like front and back, everything, right?
Yes.
Okay. Like, have you looked into trying to get them removed, or is that like utterly pointless? That so much work.
I did remove. I had some tattoo work on my face, like on the top of my forehead area. I did get that removed. It took 2 years and over $2,000, and it's still not complete. It's still blotchy.
How much did you pay for all the tattoos over the time you had your body inked?
I don't really know. And it was a long time ago, and in my early 20s, probably too much. A lot of it we would do with like trade. I had a friend that I used to own a hair salon a long time ago, and so we would trade between that. And they were the tattoos in that time. I got a lot of attention for, but because I wasn't raised very properly, I didn't understand the difference between good attention and bad attention.
All right, so this actually makes me feel sorry for her momentarily, but ladies, we have got to be accountable for our decisions. When she says, I did this when I was young for attention, we've heard, and no shade on anyone, but you hear single moms say this again. Well, unwed mothers say this a lot. I was young and dumb. That may be the case back then, ladies, but your decisions have consequences. And the man of our dreams is not just going to look at us and say, oh, there, you racked up a whole bunch of debt. Oh, you went and had a whole bunch of illegitimate children. You put a tattoo on your forehead. I understand you were young and dumb. Some things can't be fixed, ladies. Not everything can be fixed. And the fact that she just, when he asked her the question, how much did you pay for this? And she was just kind of like, oh, I don't know. That's not acceptable, ladies. We have to be able to, when asked a direct question, we need to be able to answer. And the reason why is that we want responsible men. When you ask your man a question, you don't want him to say, oh, I don't know, we'll figure it out. You want a man with a plan. So again, being reckless with your body, whether it's tattoos, whether it is, again, debt or children or anything that you've done just because in the moment it sounded like a good idea. I work in a hair salon. You're a tattoo artist. Let's swap services. Well, the hair that you did for that person is not permanent, but the tattoos that you put all over your body, including your face, are. What would you add, Lucy?
In addition to that, it shows that even though she says she was younger, it shows that she had a limited ability to, hold off on those impulses. Not only did she only do one tattoo, it seems that she did hundreds all over her body. So again, tattoos are not expensive. It goes back to, how much are you spending on something that really, what's the return on your investment? The return on your investment seems to not be giving you any return because the men that you want are passing you over for other younger, more stable women. And again, she seems so nice. It breaks my heart because even her voice is so, it's even kind of like a younger type voice, which is, it makes me think, other things. But unfortunately, those young impulses and decisions that you make, they are going to, as we see with this woman, they impact you all throughout your life.
All right, well, I'm about to be canceled because I do not care how nice she sounds. I'm sorry. You didn't know after the first tattoo. You didn't know after the 21st tattoo. You didn't know after the 51st tattoo. And here's where I get heated because as a boy mom, if you have any men in your life, father, son, Holy Spirit, father, son, brother, uncle, nephew, boys and men are not given the benefit of the doubt. If they do something stupid, it stays with them forever. And I just got off of a conversation, 3-way call with dad and the commander at military school because, hey, this is not acceptable. So I feel very passionate about this. And ladies, you know what? You asked for this equality, fine. Do whatever you want to your body. But no, absolutely not. Because there are women who were not raised right, who decided, you know what? I think I'll probably put my money towards something else instead of tattooing my body. So young ladies, let this be a lesson for you. Not everything is going to be excused. And I think this is what has to happen. And she needs to be a walking display of don't do what I did. My man was giving me credit this week. He was like, you know what, at least you come in there and tell on yourself. So she's telling on herself without opening her mouth. All right, let me get myself together.
And wait, I gotta say something. And it's people, women like me, that kind of say, oh, poor thing, she went through all of these things, that kind of give that little, space for her to continue feeling bad about her bad decisions. Whereas we need somebody like Maggie to say, you know what, the buck stops here. I understand that you had all of these things, but there's a time in your life where you have to say, you know what, I need to do better. And unfortunately for her, I'm not sure if she will find that man that she's looking for, because again, I think she's past her prime, and she has many other issues that we'll probably hear in this conversation. So thank you, Maggie, for keeping me honest. Thank you.
And look, we love everybody. Well, mostly not everybody. I'll just be honest, y'all. Today is not that day. I have time today. But I will say this, yes, I understand that there are women. We have one in the chat, happily married with tattoos. I think she has too many strikes against her. She's older. She's single and looking, unmarried or never married with 2 children. It's just like, and then tattooed from head to toe. So you bring that to the marketplace and you say you want an alpha male. I don't even know how you fix your mouth to say that. I will say this. I know there are artistic people and there are creative people, and I get it. Not me. I'm a square. I'm a nerd. But I think if you are going to err on the side of being a little bit more risque, then you need to find your person early and get out of the dating market. Do not bring that to the dating market and then say, you know what? I would like the cream of the crop. I'm telling you, as a mother, I would tell the boys, do not even bring that home. Don't even play games with me. Of course, they can do whatever they want to, but I think for her to now be 40 plus and looking that sweetness, look where it got her, talking to this alpha man about why her prospects are what they are. Let us continue. We have Fareed saying tattoos are not feminine. This is actually true, ladies. And I know I am biased. I gave you my disclaimer, but ladies, there's a lot of behavior. We talk about this in the finishing school, so I'll give you some cheat codes. Swearing is masculine. Tattoos, masculine. Drinking like a dude, masculine. Smoking, masculine. Bragging, masculine. So with this whole like movement towards we're just equal, I can do what you can do and I can do it better. A lot of women are losing their femininity and they don't even know that a lot of their behaviors scream masculine, and that does not attract a masculine man. Masculine man requires a feminine woman. Don't believe me? Just watch. All right, let us continue on. Gillis is laughing at our reaction. Yeah, y'all. Lucy picked a good one today. Okay. Our Alexa says, good evening, ladies. Tattoo removal has got to be a booming business. Yes, but I do feel for her. There's nothing worse than regret, especially as an older woman. And she had a tattoo on her forehead, and you see she's got bangs now because she said that she's trying to get it removed. I've heard it's very painful. I have no tattoos because why? But even if you go to get it lasered, she said it's blotchy or it's smudgy, like you're going to lose your beautiful natural skin. And I just think that's too much of a price to pay, but who am I? Who do we have here? Let's see. What else are y'all saying in the chat? Good evening, Sister Lucy. Tattoos are for sailors and prisoners, not ladies and wives. Team Peterson has said it. So I would love to know, for the men in the chat or the ladies in the chat, when you see her, what is your first impression? You can put it in the chat if you want to, but I will tell you, that's what my man calls them. What is she doing with that prison tattoo? And you could be the nicest person, never been behind bars a day in your life. But why would you stack the deck against you for people to think bad things about you? And then you got to overperform to say, no, I'm really a good girl. Why would you do that? To me, it's just not smart. So shout out to the prison tattoos. Big Ben is giving us the thumbs up. Thank you so much for the support. We love hearing from the men here. And Lindbergh says, image is important. The corporate world has a hard stance on image. Tattooed and extreme dressed employees are no-go for the company brand and image. And that's true. And some of y'all may say, you know what, throw caution to the wind. I'm a rebel. I'm going to do what I want to. Fine. Make sure you're an entrepreneur. Make sure you can support yourself. Make sure you found someone that loves all that and you all ride out forever. Because if you do that on a whim and then you want to come back into mainstream anything, it's just going to be harder for you. It just is. All right, let's go back and see what our lovely lady is asking for now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just very young and made poor choices, but once I started listening to your podcast and several others, I kind of realized that was I think that was something that was kind of holding me back a lot from being able to date, is because, a lot of men just don't want to date somebody that's so heavily tattooed, and it'd be impossible.
And they've overtly stated that, like, they've just said that I'm not into tattoos.
No, I mean, a couple of them have, but I'm kind of guessing that. And it's kind of out of actions. Like, I wouldn't have a problem necessarily finding somebody to take me out and want to be with me, like, intimately. I don't think that is what I would have a problem with. But nobody wants to, like, take me to parties or take me to a charity event or take me home to meet their mom. And I just think, after listening to a lot of people and kind of trying to figure out what men are looking for and want and what they desire in a woman, I'm kind of making the assumption that that's a big thing that's holding me back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about this. If you listen to the dynamic between this channel, this is the Unplugged Alpha, Rich Cooper. Never heard of him, never seen him a day in my life. Thank you, Lucy, for this wonderful video we can use as a teachable moment. But if you notice how she's speaking, like, I don't really know what it is. Nobody's really said anything to me. I'm just kind of putting this together. And if you listen to how he's like, right. So you're looking for this. Ladies, that is the dynamic. It is so obvious to the world around you. You've got to stop skipping through the cornfields like everything is just great, lollipops and rainbows. You look ridiculous. And the other thing that I wanted to say, did you notice when she said, nobody's overtly told me? Ladies, we have said it before. Men observe and they put you in categories from afar. You think when he's in front of you, then you're going to be able to, I'm ready to perform and show you what I've got. It's too late by then. So many men that are in our chat, maybe they're watching from the clouds. They've told us, we've been watching for a while, because they never know what to make of women. A lot of women are good at pretending, unfortunately for a lot of us. But the fact that she's having to figure this out at her big age of over 40 means that men have put her in a certain category and did not bother to tell her. So ladies, they're not going to bother to tell you. They're just going to let you crash out and figure it out. So you need to get on the program and start reading the room like we teach the ladies, and have some awareness. Okay, when I do X, I get response Y. Do I like response Y? That means I need to do more of X. But if I get response Z and I don't like response Z, that means I need to do less of X. And I know that's a very straight line way of thinking, but we've got to do better, because you will find yourself just going up in age and wondering how you got here. What would you add, Lucy?
I love that you noticed his response anytime that she would say, why people respond to her that way. And for me, Rich Cooper has been around, I think, in the online world for a while. So I'm glad I sent him to you, because it's, he's one of those channels that really put women in check. I mean, he does not tolerate a lot. Again, we're talking about masculine men, and that's what they do. They give us grace once they know that we are the ones. But before that, their vetting process is huge. And they're going to be looking at every step of the way that you take, just to say whether, yeah, she's worth my time, or no, she's going to be placed in this category, and that's that. And you're not going to cry, you're not going to, yell, you're not going to make a big deal, you're not going to make them think otherwise, because once they've made that decision, that's what it is.
Yes, ladies, those first impressions are so important. That's why you need to prepare before you meet him, because by the time you meet him, he has seen you. All right, let's see what y'all are saying in the chat. Team Peterson says, good evening, Professor Maggie and Lucy. Tattoos are for sailors and prisoners. No man is looking for a wife marked up like a subway from Harlem. Tattoos, cursing, and nose face piercings, I forgot that one, ladies, equals unmarriageable. You're hearing it from the men. You want to adorn your face in all that glitters is gold? Go for it. They will look at you and find someone else who is just more socially acceptable. You have to understand this, ladies. Now, if you just want to do something casual, do whatever you want to. But if you want something serious and long term, marriage and relationships are a status symbol. And so no man is going to work to become the alpha that this woman wants and then lower his status intentionally because you decided to do whatever you want to. The way we show up in the world impacts the way our man is thought of. And I think about that every day. I want to conduct myself in a way that would bring honor to him, not shame and questioning, like, he's with that? What kind of decision maker is he? Or not. Do what you want to. LA Miles says, too many tattoos to me screams you enjoy trauma, victimhood, being promiscuous, and only women, good men when it's too late in the game. They're low quality all around. Oh, okay. Oh, Team Peterson says, masculine traits put you instantly into the fun only category. I could never take her to any social function. Imagine bringing her to a gubernatorial, embassy, or presidential ball. It's sad, ladies, but it's true. Young ladies, hear me. You think it's cool, you will hurt yourself for a lifetime. LA Miles says, oh, we already read that one. All right, let's go back in and then I'll come back to the chat.
Yeah. Short of getting them all removed, you're kind of in a tough spot. I mean, like the thing that, see, the problem a lot of women face is they'll get to your age and they'll say, okay, you know, I just want a nice guy. I just want to, I mean, like, what did you define it as? The guys that you're attracted? Because the way I'm not attracting the type of men that I'm attracted to, and you're defining the guys that you're attracted to as like the high value alpha guys. Like, what's a high value alpha guy in your view? Like, could you kind of paint a picture?
Yeah, and I'm very realistic, so you know, I know, you know, it's not, I'm not going to be pulling somebody that's, you know, a millionaire. I understand that, but somebody that just has a steady job, somebody that has a decent
Steady
life.
job, making how much money roughly?
I mean, I would really prefer over 60 a year. I would like
That's not a very high bar, though.
I
mean,
know,
a lot of women nowadays are like, oh, he's got to have, you know, 6-figure income.
Yeah, I don't think I could be with somebody that makes less than me. I think that would be a problem.
Hypergamy 101.
It's just I work really hard, and so I just want somebody else that also works really hard at whatever it is that they're doing, or and just in life in general, you know. And it's hard to find somebody that's like that, that's willing to just put in work, whether it's go to the gym or explore a hobby, or if there's something they're interested in, not just talking about it, but actually going and doing it. And it's hard because I've worked so hard, even though I wouldn't call myself like the high value woman, I guess, but I've worked so hard to get where I am at, that I would really like to be with somebody that could at least equal that, if not better it.
Yeah, women don't want to go across and down. They want to go across and up, generally speaking. So, I mean, what you're running into, I'm assuming you're dating guys your age or older?
Yes, I have dated a 33-year-old, and that was actually oddly probably the better one. Really great guy, owns his own home, motorcycle, boat, truck, in the petroleum business. And we actually really enjoy one another's company. And I think he likes me and I like him. However, he's been very respectfully honest with me that he wants to get married and have kids, several kids. And so he would ideally really prefer a younger woman. So in that case, it wasn't the tattoos that were holding me back. It was the fact that I was 40 and he doesn't want to date a barren 40-year-old.
All right, let's have some more fun, shall we? All right, so in the beginning of that clip, when she says she wants the type of man that she wants, and I don't even know why he used the term high value, because most of us don't qualify. She definitely doesn't qualify. But The characteristics that she listed out, I think somebody that was like gainfully employed, had their own home or, own place to live, and some basic requirements. And what that says to me is that the caliber of men that have either approached her or that she has entertained have been substandard. We can try to figure out why, but that's what she has been able to attract. And so now she's at the age of 40 and she says, I really want a man that is an alpha. But what she's describing, and this actually is sad, is just a man, because a man is able to take care of himself. A man is able to be independently productive enough to take care of himself and then the woman and family that he chooses. The second thing that she said about dating a younger man, and I know there are some May, December romances, and that's fine. That's the exception, not the rule. But the reason why she says the younger man did not work out is because he naturally wanted a family of his own, which she could not give him. So I would just say this in an honest attempt to give some tangible advice. Ladies, if you come to the marketplace with any disadvantages, I always put myself on the hot seat, got to watch my weight. If you are older, if you have children, if you are not your most fit, whatever your disadvantages are, that means you're going to have to overperform in other areas. So for me, I have to show up very feminine, very agreeable, make sure I get on the program one time in a row, y'all already know. But if you're older and then you have all this other baggage and then you want the best of the best, you're just going to find yourself alone. And that is almost sad, but she did it to herself. So I don't feel sorry. What would you add, Lucy?
Yes, I agree. I believe that she said she was like a hairstylist. So I'm thinking, when she was younger, she probably had a good type of man that was part of, those that were vying for her companionship or a relationship. And those were the ones that, because she was young, she probably said, no, I'll wait for later. Now it's later. And those that she thought were, good back then, they are no longer available. Now they're probably with a young woman that, she stated that, they want to have children, they want to have a family. That, opportunity for her, she blew it. And now, unfortunately, she's trying to go back to something that is not there for her.
Agreed. All right. So let's see what you all are saying in the chat. We have James Isaac. He says, a lot of these modern women don't seem to realize tattoos are unappealing to the majority of men. There you have it, ladies. Again, you can do whatever you want to, but you will accept the consequences that come with that. And I can hear people screaming now, the feminists, well, why should I do anything that matters to a man? That's fine. Be by yourself. Nobody's going to fight you. But ladies, I want you, if you want to succeed, to set yourself up for the best chance at an outcome. So if you're marking yourself up and most men are saying, yeah, that's a no-go for me, you have in effect lowered or shrunk your dating pool of viable options, which means you're now looking for a needle in the haystack. I would not recommend. Faris says, women are meant to be feminine, submissive, and tattoos don't represent that. Yeah, they're very masculine. They just are. Simone says, I think, ooh, what's that? Sister, what's that? Yeah, well, ladies, there you have it. James says, a lot of modern women don't want anything serious. They're about getting the bag and using a man as financial pawn, which is despicable. That may be the case, but I think in this case, this woman, I don't even think she could be a sugar baby if she wanted to. I could be wrong, but that's usually not the appeal. Our Lexus says, a man of value showing up with a woman with tattoos makes him look weak and makes him a mark. Don't limit your options, ladies. Precisely what we just said. You're limiting your options, ladies, because you're limiting his standing. And the men that we want, they have a network. No man is an island. They have colleagues, they have family, they have church, they have community, maybe they have government, they have a circle that they run in, that wolf pack that Kevin Samuels talked about. It is important, ladies. And Team Peterson says men ghost women covertly. You will never know why you never made the cut. Women find out that you weren't the one when he is married to someone else within 6 months after you get ghosted. Let's go back in.
And he could absolutely have a 25-year-old girl. So, but
are you finding that with the guys your age too that are in their 40s? Like they're looking for younger women?
It depends. It depends who they are. So I have found that a little bit in men. Usually, I guess what you would classify as your more high value man, they'll date me. They don't really want to long-term date me. They do want, younger women. I kind of have a hard time just finding people to even just date. So,
well, I mean, like once you start going through the dating pool and you realize about half of it or more is going to lean in a direction that you're not attracted to, the guys that you defined as carrying crystals in their pockets with loads of debt with an art history degree. So you cut those guys out of the equation. Then you take the guys out of the equation that have, they're in the sober homes, the alcoholics anonymous, they're living with their moms. They don't make more money than you. They still live with their ex-wives trying to sort through the divorce. They've got 4 small children and you don't want to deal with that. Like you're dealing with a very, 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 very narrow dating pool, right? So for you to kind of like find something that's going to tick off some boxes, you're going to have to cast a wider net and start to make some concessions in areas that you've been unwilling to in the past, perhaps, if you know what I'm saying, right? Because I mean, like most guys that I deal with in the high net worth category, like the guys that are the entrepreneurs, the professionals, the doctors, the lawyers that are making like $250,000 plus, for the most part, they're not looking for women in their 40s, let alone a woman in their 40s that's a single mom with a couple. I mean, your kids are almost adults now, but you're still a single mom, basically, covered in head to toe with tattoos. And one of the things that you've experienced, I mean, if you have to go to an event and there's an evening dress, it's like, okay, do I want to bring, plate 1 or plate 2? Plate 2's got tats all over her and plate 1 doesn't, sort of thing. So, I mean, there's certain things that you can do. And, I always tell guys, like, try to max out your looks where you can. Like if you're fat, lose the weight. If you've got, social calibration issues, work on that. You don't seem to have that issue. You're well written. You seem to speak quite well. It sounds like you don't have, much going on that's problematic as far as red flags, except for the whole tattoo thing, which is going to, send a lot of guys off. I don't know. I mean, cast a wider net would be my biggest, piece of advice. And if you have the time and money, maybe work towards getting rid of or minimizing a lot of the exposed stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, for me personally, you're going to get a skewed opinion because I'm not a big fan of tattoos, right? Yes. Never have been, never will be. The way that I've always framed it, and I think I mentioned in my book, I don't know if you read it, but it's like putting bumper stickers all over a Lamborghini. Lamborghini is a beautiful thing. I think a woman's a beautiful thing. And then when you put them all over the place, and I've got cousins that have tats, down their arms and sort of stuff, and they fade after 20 years and they just don't look good, right? So I've never been a big fan from that perspective. And I think there's a good chunk of the guys that share that same and echo that same sentiment, but there's also guys that love tats. Like I've seen guys covered in tats as well. And I'm sure there's got to be some of them out there that aren't drowning in debt with crystals in their pockets that probably have some money and a motorcycle and a boat as well too, right?
All right. I still find it fascinating that this older man is having to tell this older woman part of the reason why she hasn't been successful. He talked about the high net worth men that are in the circles that he talks to. And ladies, let's face it, almost all of us want one of those high value men, right? It's very rare. But he said that not only do most of those men not want a woman covered in tattoos, they want usually younger women. And I know a lot of us, sometimes older women, we get upset about that. But here's why. And I said this in a previous stream. My man told me this and it really opened my eyes. When you think about all that a man has to do to make himself, because they're not born, unless he's a trust fund kid, they're not born with that level of success. They have to work and toil and struggle and defer a lot of gratification until they're at the point where they say, now I've made it. From that point on, they want to enjoy the fruits of their labor. They want the best option for them, and they want the easiest option for them. Meaning, yes, you can go get the tattoos removed, but when you have, like he said, plate A or plate B, if you have a woman who's ready right now and she doesn't have tattoos all over her body, standing next to a woman who's like, I'll get ready for you, just give me 2 years and $2,000 to get all this work done. Because men are risk averse and they are cost benefit calculators, when men are ready, ladies, they're ready right now. So you don't have time to get on the program. A lot of you all are hamstringing yourself because you have such a learning curve, and then you're doing things that trip you up, and you expect the man that you want to wait on you. He will not wait on you. You're either ready or he finds someone that is. It reminds me of one of the ladies that I talked to who asked me, she's approaching 30, and she asked me about freezing her eggs. I said, go ahead, do whatever you want to do. But again, the same theory applies. Why would a man who's ready for a family right now choose an older woman who maybe she could have kids, but that's the more expensive route. That's the more painful route. There's all that goes into it. And I understand, believe me, people struggle, but I'm trying to be really practical. When you look at when a man is ready to choose, if you do have any limitations, you're not helping yourself by piling on all this additional stuff, because he's going to look at that and say, that's just too much work. I got this over here. She's ready to go, and I'm ready right now. I wish you the best. Or like Team Peterson said, he may just move on and marry the other one, and then you're wondering, why not me? What would you add, Lucy?
I agree. And if you think about it, men go out there, they take resistance, they take pushback, they're fighting every single day of, second of their lives. And then you come back with somebody that will offer you more resistance, more inability to be impulsive. You don't know if this woman is going to, decide tomorrow he's going to have another tattoo somewhere else. More money spent. Exactly. And actually, when he was talking about removal, I could not hear anything else, because I was thinking the pain for removing those tattoos. It's like you're burning that skin. I have seen it. I have actually seen it. There's, social media for me is my educational environment. I have seen some channels where there are women regretting those tattoos, and they go back to remove them, and it's the most painful experience that they could ever have. And your skin will never, ever look the same as before you had that stuff on. So again, if you're thinking about doing something like that, I would say, find a hidden spot that only your significant other, once you're in those in private, you can show it to him. But don't tattoo yourself all over the place, because that's just it's not a feminine look. It just doesn't look good. It is going to impact your life in a very negative way.
Absolutely. All right. So let's see what else you all are saying in the chat. James, thank you so much for the compliment. Lexus says you can't be with someone that makes less than you. Some women have requirements. You just got to make sure that you meet the requirements for the men that you want. Especially as an older woman, I think she's a little bit unrealistic. All right. But let's continue on. Let's see what you all are saying. Ellie Ma says it's both. Lindbergh says tattoos, piercing, and extreme attired women. I avoid them. No potential relationship or dating. Yeah, ladies, you're hearing it from the men. Andy says there's a self-defeatist attitude where a person will always find reasons why he isn't up to par. I found several who say their standards are high, but will choose the guy that has zero. Not sure I understand, but thank you. Gillis says, where was all this education when I was 18? I understand. And this, I do I do have a heart, and I feel for the younger women. I see myself in a lot of younger women when we think, we can do whatever we want to do, but there's a cost, ladies, and not everything can be fixed. And so that is our hope as two older women. For any of the younger women that are listening, because the internet is forever, you will think about your 40-year-old self, your 50-year-old self, your 60-year-old self, and you'll make decisions that you will be proud of, not things that you will regret and then say, no, I know you see all this, but I'm really nice once you get to know me. You don't have time. He doesn't have time for that. In general, I understand. Andy says, for whom the bell tolls, no man is an island. Yes, that's true, ladies. The men that we want, they have a community and they worked hard to build it. James says, I could never take her around any of my colleagues. I get laughed right out of my circle. And ladies, those of you all who think that what you offer is going to compensate for a man to lose his standing in his network, you are sorely mistaken. Lucy talks about this all the time. We need to be an asset, not a liability. So when the man comes with his lady on his arm, people need to be saying, okay, yes, we understand. We see it. Not why. Really? Why? Jade says, automatic pass, no discussion necessary. You see, ladies, they're not even going to tell you. They're going to leave you right there to figure it out. Good company is giving us the amen. And you have a question about women who do poli-sci. I mean, if that's a degree in school, you can study whatever you want to. I know, Lucy and I have a connection to the late, great Kevin Samuels, women who go into law, and I know there's attorneys, but if you like to debate for debate's sake, if you just have to get your point and get it right, you're just going to find yourself more disagreeable than the man that you want to be with wants in his woman. So I would just say, whatever you study, I'm in tech, just make sure that your relationship is first, and whatever career path you choose comes after that. Or you can have it your way. All right, let's go back in and see what else they have to say.
I would hope so. It just seems like that's kind of, that does seem to be kind of, I would say, musicians, people that do a lot of drugs and alcohol.
Maybe try to find those reformed guys that aren't.
Those are the people that tend to, when I'm on dating apps, that will reach out to me and want to talk to me. And that's fine. They could live their life the way they'd like. But it's just not somebody I'd put time and energy into.
Cast a little bit of a broader net and, give a few of these guys at least a sniff test and a coffee date or a drink and see how it goes and see if there's anything that sparks out of that. But if you're going to limit it very tight, one of the things you said early on too is you're not really dating that much. If you want to score goals, you got to get on the ice, right? Put on the equipment, put on the gear,
I did join, that's why I joined the gym 6 months ago. So I joined the gym 6 months ago. I've been trying to volunteer outside of my regular job. So my regular job is just all women. It's almost all women that work there. So if we have men, they're married. So I tried to start doing other volunteer things and go on little 5K runs and stuff with other people and try to be more active. And so I'll find things purposely to try and go do that men will be at. So I've tried that as well.
Go and fish where the fish are. They may not be, they may not have the right bait on the hook for you though, right? That's why I said cast a wider net and get out there a little bit more. Hey, listen, I appreciate you, sharing this experience. And if anything, I've warned for a long time, to younger women not to tap themselves up too crazily. And, here we are today, you're 20 years down the road and you're saying to yourself, where do I find guys that I want to be with? Because I'm stuck with guys that I'm generally not attracted to. So, one part of this is there's a lesson here.
Yeah, not just with men, with career opportunities, it's a huge regret. And if I had a magic wand and could just take it all off and have my freckly redhead skin back, I would. So, I would definitely, if you're a younger woman watching this, not get tattooed.
All right. Good luck, Tammy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. See you. Ciao.
Oh, That actually does hurt my heart. I don't feel, you know, sorry for her, but I do feel sad. It's just sad to see anyone get to the later stages of life and have regret for something that is preventable. So, young ladies, absolutely, just think about your future self. I know it seems so far away when you're 25, but she said it. She regrets it. The other thing that she said, so she's on these dating apps or wherever she's trying to be found by men. She said musicians and like heavy drug and alcohol users are the ones that reach out to her. And I think that says a lot. I remember one of the things Thane told me is that, ladies, we don't need to focus on the men that give us attention. We need to focus on the men that don't give us attention and figure out why. So here she is now at the age of 40, trying to find what she wants. Like it's up to her to cherry pick what she wants. And what is being presented to her is kind of bottom of the barrel. And he gave her some advice. I don't know if you all heard that. He said, well, maybe you can find one of the reformed ones. Maybe you can find someone who beat their cocaine habit or someone who doesn't drink all day, maybe just on special occasions. I think that's really sad, but that's really true. You're basically excluding yourself from the caliber of men that you want. So now you're going to have to pick through what's available to you and make the most of it. And that's a very sobering lesson. I know Lucy says life has a way of humbling all of us. And I know I was a little harsh tonight, but intentionally so, because if you heard her, she said that this has also hurt her with career opportunities. And I think she says she wants to volunteer. I would not put her out in front, a serving position or anything. Even our oldest, Marcus, is going to the Marines. He wants to go into intelligence. And the recruiter told him, no tattoos. So even in the military, there are certain jobs, once you get to the higher jobs, like you cannot do that. So this is a rule that applies to everyone. And so for the ladies who are saying, I don't care what a man wants, fine, have it your way, Burger King. But you might want a job that you might disqualify yourself for. You might want some connections that people may say, no, we don't want to be associated with that. So the ripple effect is real. So for whatever it's worth, just don't do it. I would say find other ways to express yourself. What would you add, Lucy?
I agree. And if you can think about a tattoo, you can test it out. I guarantee you that you can put a tattoo, a fake tattoo on for a week. I guarantee you a week from now, you're going to be saying, you know what? I'm tired of it. And once you've made it permanently, you either have to remove it, like he said, like the one on her forehead, or you realize that it's, you know what? This is something permanent. I don't know if I'm ready to commit myself onto something that I will, I'm not going to be able to remove it later on. So again, I feel terrible for her. One thing that I noticed is that when she said, the ones that are possible dating material are musicians or, people that have had issues with drug dealings or whatever, she's still expecting a different level of men. Lady, that's all you can get. Do you realize that that's all you can get at this point? So again, Rich was really being really nice, and again, our men give us grace. And if you see when he pulls up women, he's he's a gentleman. He will never tell them off about anything because he's one of those high value gentlemen that, you either listen or you don't. And this is how practical we are. And this is what we see. But, even at the last moment, she still was wanting something that she will not get. And it's like it didn't click. Lady, that's all you're going to get. And that's why he said, cast a bigger, net. Look at everywhere. Find someone that has been reformed. And that is something that apparently she didn't want. So, lady, come on now. So again, I feel bad for her, but it gets to a point where it's like, you know what? Be realistic. And, be realistic. You have to find practicality in life. At this point, you get what you get.
You get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. Let me take a step back and then I'm going to come to see what you all have in the chat and we will wrap up. Ladies, allow me to say humbly, we are not even supposed to be on the dating market at 40. Now, things happen, I understand, but you have heard me say it. The purpose of dating is to determine if this is a match, a suitable match for marriage or long term. We should be dating, if you will, when we have our youth and our leverage in our 20s and hopefully find someone to get out of the dating market and live your life with. Now, of course, as a divorcee, I had to get right back on after I realized, okay, this modern woman thing is not working. But number one, at 40, we're way past our prime, way past the wall. You can't offer a man the best of anything. He's taking us on the decline. Let's tell the truth. And then you wanting the creme de la creme. And I didn't want to use the word delusional, but if you listen to how he's talking to her, he's like, maybe you can find one of them. Maybe there's got to be somebody without crystals in their pocket. Who wants to approach the market saying, okay, I'll take whatever I can get? So that is the impetus for ladies getting out of the clouds, getting out of the books, getting out of the corporate world. If you can do both at the same time, that's fine, but you've got to get your relationship sorted. This woman, maybe 20 years ago, could have found her tattoo man and they lived their life, and she wouldn't be out here trying to figure out why the men that she wants don't want her. So she's made it incredibly hard for herself, and she may take another 5 to 10 years trying to figure out why I haven't landed the man of my dreams. But ladies, men have requirements, and like Kevin Samuels used to say, everything has choices and trade-offs. All right, so we talked about poli-sci, and you said you understand Kevin Samuels made it clear women who are disagreeable aren't marriage material. I just think this, men are long-term thinkers, and when they look at us and interact with us, they are thinking if they want to continue to have this experience, whatever it is, for the next 10, 20, 30 years. You can be in poli-sci and be very agreeable. You could be a teacher and be very combative. So look for the character traits and then either accept or exit. All right, so we talked about Jada saying tattoos, cussing is all masculine. You all agree. Thank you for sharing. She's a Pookie magnet. Well, she's seeing in real time what she has qualified herself for. Team Peterson says tattoos are druggies, musicians, and drug dealer catnip. They're rubbing their hands like Birdman when they see her. That's a shame, because if she really is a sweet person, but you light up the people that don't have good intentions because of how you show up, that means for the rest of your dating life, you're going to have to be even extra vigilant, because how you have presented yourself is not who you really are. And why would you put that disadvantage on yourself? It just doesn't make sense. Marie says, unfortunately, I have tattoos. My mindset when I was definitely different and more liberal when I got them, but I'm thankful I had sense to get them in places where they can easily be covered. Shout out to you, Marie, and thank you for the honesty. We appreciate that. Lindbergh says, what you do today will impact you later in life. Tomorrow is a promissory note. Yesterday was a canceled check, and today is money in the bank. Yes, tomorrow is coming for all of us. Winter is here, ladies. Marie says, books have covers so we can judge them. Absolutely. Yeah, people are going to judge you. Y'all can forget that. No, nobody cares. Okay, do what you want to do. James says, tell me what wedding dress. That is. Okay, Lucy, what would you say to close us out before they go in on this lady?
But it's true. You think about it. What kind of wedding dress is she going to wear? She's going to wear one that looks like a 1975 or 1980 that covers up to this point. It's one of those things, exactly like a sweater neck or, I don't know. Anyway, So I thought that this video was going to be just a little cautionary tale. And the reason I like Rich Cooper is because he shows how masculine men are usually, usually see things, how they tell you. He was very soft. He didn't get emotional. He told her, gave her ideas. She was still pushing back on her unrealistic expectations. But yeah, I think that for young ladies that are thinking about, uh, thinking that the world doesn't judge you, unfortunately, it does, and you'll find out in real life how bad, how sad it is to be judged by the bad decisions that you make, especially when you're advertising them.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have Trucker Martin who says women have the rest, cannot be removed after the wall. Not sure I understand, but thank you. Killa says she can find her an artistic wedding dress, and that's great. But there has to be a man out there who proposes first. And I think that's where she's struggling. So in closing, with respect to this woman, again, she seems like a nice woman. This is a teachable moment. I didn't want to say any personal attacks against her. I'm not making fun of her. I do feel like she should be held accountable. And I think life is happening to her. We are all getting the results of the decisions that we've made, good or bad. So young ladies, older ladies, don't let the trend of a momentary impulsive decision affect you. We've had people in the chat who are saying, tattoos are fine, that's great. But I think the overwhelming majority are saying, yeah, that's not going to fly. So if you value relationships and you want marriage or long term, put yourself in the best situation. Set yourself up for success. Because when you do something like this, you're going to shrink your pool, and then you're going to be wading through the leftovers, still wondering why you can't get the man of your dreams. So I'm glad we looked at this video, and hopefully it was helpful. So Lucy and I are here for you all twice a week, usually Wednesdays and Saturdays, where we give you our take as older women teaching the young. And so we appreciate you all. Maria's laughing, and Trucker says when she's 30, we all know, over 30 with tattoos, they know what it is. Well, ladies, your reputation precedes you, so choose wisely. So we're going to go ahead and let you all go. Thank you all so much. And until next time, adios.